Good afternoon, everyone. Hi, this is Akshay here from Project Infotech. They're in the list. So we'll wait for another minute and we will start with the session. Okay, I think we can start with today's topic. So once again, a very good afternoon, everyone, and a warm welcome to today's topic. So today's webinar, basically, we are going to talk about IBM Cloud Pak for automation. And we are going to understand into this topic about how the pharmacovigilance process is basically solved using the Cloud Pak for automation platform. So let me introduce myself. Myself, Akshay Duskar. I'm a founder of Project Infotech. We have been partnered with IBM into enterprise content management platform from last couple of years, and we are working with the IBM team closely on the automation solutions. And the topic basically are going to focus on the pharmacovigilance process, and we're going to understand what are the pain points we have in pharma industry and how IBM Cloud Pak for automation helps to solve those kind of problems. So we have the topic basically goes as mentioned in the agenda here. So the first part, which on the solution overview, will be taken care by Paul and Deepak from IBM Solution Architect team. And there will be a demonstration, which will basically give an idea on the problem statement, which we are going to discuss today in today's topic. And then post that, there will be a Q&A session of 15 minutes where we will expect questions and we will discuss on the questions which is raised by the participant during the discussion. Okay, so I'll hand over the session to Dilip from IBM team. Dilip, over to you.
Right, thank you. Thanks. I will share my screen.
Yes, we can see.
I hope everybody can see the screen, and I believe I am audible to everybody. I think we can start. Again, I welcome all participants. I respect their time and participation to this session. During the next 1 hour and potentially subsequent sessions, I believe that we'll be able to discuss and demonstrate what IBM is doing, especially in the digital automation space, and how our solution can address the issues in the pharma industry in particular. Basically, pharmacovigilance is what some of the aspect of pharmacovigilance is what we will be demonstrating as part of the demo, as part of the use case. But here, before that, during the slide set in the next 10 to 15 minutes, we'll talk about some of the aspect of the pharma industry and what is IBM offering to fill the automation space, etc. So let's move on. So here we start with the health. So the improving health is an opportunity of everybody, especially in our era. So those who are working mainly in the healthcare and the human service industries, they play a vital and essential role in our society. Their work helps to identify how healthcare systems are delivered, how it is financed, and how breakthroughs are uncovered, and how individual can contribute in this space. To transform or to improve the existing healthcare system, everyone needs to work together, including the solution providers, different players in the industry, government bodies, regulatory authorities, employees, and whatnot, all of us. Uh, so, in order to make real progress, there are big industry challenges that we need to overcome, especially in the if you look at the healthcare industry, the 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 data that is available or that is getting generated as part of the different aspect of healthcare industry, including clinical trials, including post-marketing surveillance, etc. We can see an annual growth rate of around 36%. We touch around 36% in 2025. And the true value of this data is not completely uncovered because of various reasons. Because of the nature of the data, most of the data is unstructured, handwritten. Very limited is very structured, and again the data resides in silos across multiple systems. So that is about the data. Then when we talk about the cost is also increasing. So we can say that these are all some of the biggest challenges that we need to overcome in this space. Let me move on. So like any other industries, the healthcare industry is also under pressure. So the demand is more and their expectation is high. So the expectation is in such a way that do more with less, do more and more with less and less. And if we talk about the data, the data is highly underutilized. There are a lot of data which is getting generated in the form of documents, in the form of process, whatever. But there is still a lot of meaningful insight needs to be generated out of the data. I would say that the data is underutilized. And then we can say that always, like, the consumer expectation is always skyrocketed. Growing demands for the service is again high. Then we can definitely see that there is a resource challenge, the regulatory uncertainty, because the regulatory challenges, there are a lot of changes, spontaneous changes that can happen in the regulatory in order to smoothen this system. It is getting more and more stringent. So because of all this, we can say that it is under pressure to deliver. So so industry leaders, they see that the emerging technologies that would help to address the biggest pain points. If we talk about healthcare professional field, that the cloud will be one of the solution that will improve the point of care decision making. At the same time, the life science executive feel that the blockchain will help, and at the same time, there is a lot of gap where the automation can also help to address the challenges in the industry. So if you talk about a technology alone is not sufficient. The real transformation that requires a combination of essential elements, including the technology, the security of the system, and the privacy of the data. And at the same time, we need a deep industry expertise and experience. If we talk about a partner who understand the industry in depth and at the same time understand the business. So, and on top of that, one that we can trust. So if these three things work together, then we can see that there is a lot of opportunity for automation. There is a lot of opportunity with which we can address the current pain points in the industry. So what IBM is committed for the last 100 years, we can say that IBM is committed to help building smarter healthcare ecosystems. It doesn't mean that we just provide the ecosystem and walk away. It means that we are working together with the clients, with partners, to help to achieve their goals. Basically, simplifying the process, automating the process, generating better care insights. We can time to market by producing faster breakthroughs and improve the experience of the people around the world. Now, if you look at the current scenario, the pharmaceutical companies in the industry is trying hard to come up with a breakthrough medicine for COVID-19, right? So there are, if you look back, there are a lot of challenges that if the trial may be happening, but in order to make the drug out to the market, there are a lot of steps that they have to go through. So if we have a fully automated system in place, we can definitely help in a larger extent. So IBM provides the combination of core strength, enable us to support our clients, not just providing the solution. The solution is obviously definitely to help to drive the change. And then we also provide the service to transform your organization and at the same time support from an experienced partner. So all these three pillars work together that will help our partners and the client in a larger extent. So IBM offers breadth of solutions and services to address the most pressing and challenging needs of the pharma industry. We can help to secure your data. We can help starting with extracting the data and securing your data and make those data available, and the data will work for you. What I mean by the data work for you, that is basically make the data available, synthesize the data, meaningful insight is available whenever it is required. We can make the data available as part of the business process. So on top of that, we have the technologies spread across, or the solutions spread across your enterprise, not limited to one vertical. So the platform and the technology what we are talking about, that can address the enterprise need, not limited to a vertical. So we pair our solutions, as I told earlier, that we pair our solutions with end-to-end service and support, so that the complex healthcare ecosystem with in-depth industry experience, we can address the issues that we are currently seeing in the industry.
Hello, Dilip. I think we lost you here. Okay, guys, just wait for a minute till Dilip join back the session.
Hello?
Yes, Dilip. Yes, you are audible now.
Yeah, here, it started raining and then power went off and came. Guys.
No problem. Yeah.
So I think we talked about this. Let me move on to the next slide. Right. The companies have been digitizing and automating the business operations. Basically, if we talk from the right to the left here in this slide, we can see that extract and manage the content, They would like to collect the contents, extract the meaningful information, and store it and make the content across the enterprise. We have to manage the decisions, models, automate repeatable business decisions. Then on top of that, we have to orchestrate the work. So we have the best in breed business process and case management, the combination of business process and the case management platform. That is a part of the Cloud Pack for Automation that will address all these needs, starting from the contents, the rules, to the process in the case. So if we talk about, if we compare the data and the work of a knowledge worker, the knowledge worker is struggling to complete the task because of the huge amount of data that is coming in, the information that is faster than the knowledge worker can consume and act on that. So see, for example, if the doctor treating a patient, it needs more than a patient has written and given it in the records. The doctor requires X-rays, MRIs, lot of medical reports, lot of data in order to provide a better treatment. So the knowledge, so if we talk about a knowledge worker, he is spending a lot of time in many times doing the repeated and the mundane task. Talk about accounts payable, think about a case investigation where there are the knowledge worker is doing a lot of work, right? He does a lot of knowledge intensive work and non-knowledge intensive task. So this is we can derive something out of that. Like, if you implement automation, the knowledge workers currently spending 120 billion hours a year for low value work. If you implement automation, we can reclaim over this many number of hours. Just imagine, we can think that at least 2 to 3 hours a day that a knowledge worker will be able to reclaim, and he will be able to concentrate, he or she will be able to concentrate on a value intensive work. So this is where we can think about the importance of having automation. So recent Gartner report on top 10 strategic technology trends of 2020, we can see that the hyperautomation was named number 1. So the hyperautomation is basically a combination of RPA, combination of intelligent business process automation systems. It is the combination of cognitive solutions, AI and ML enabled system. So it is we can still think about having a digital worker or digital agent working along with the knowledge worker. Think about a scenario where we have a digital agent helping the knowledge worker. So most of the repetitive mundane tasks can be given to a digital agent, and the knowledge worker can concentrate more on that. But for that, we need to use these intelligent technologies, next generation technologies, including artificial intelligence, machine learning, NLPs, etc. So the journey to hyperautomation, I can quickly touch upon. It starts from digitizing the work. So that is again extracting the content, extracting the meaningful information, workflows, business rules, and then it moves to applying the AI on top of that, and then optimizing the hybrid workforce, just as I told just now. So our mission is again to bring a digital scale to the knowledge worker through intelligent automation. This is exactly what I said. Think about a scenario where we have a digital agent helping the knowledge worker. So this is what our mission is, basically to solve the knowledge workers dilemma. So we quickly touch upon the workflow for automation. It basically provides business application services, automation services, and the concept of the digital workforce. So here is what the Cloud Pack for Automation delivers. It is it is equipped with all the essential components that is required for end-to-end automation, starting from capture, content, decisions, workflow, and task. It is with a unified user experience and proper governance and operational intelligence. It is powered with analytics, machine learning capabilities, and AI. And again, if you talk about where it is, if you talk about the platform, it is a part of the digital business automation platform. It is on Cloud Pak family. It is on Red Hat OpenShift ready software. It is available on any certified Kubernetes environment. So I don't want to go to the details about the workflows, digital decisioning, contents, and etc. But that we have already discussed. So this is where the IBM automation has helped thousands of organizations in transforming their business operations. We can see the Molina, Lilly, NHS, and Blueprint. These are all some of the pharmaceutical clients where their operations have been improved by adopting the IBM automation platform. So we can see the efficiencies in various aspects of their productivity, efficiency, time reduction, error reduction, etc. So coming to the specific pharma use cases, we can see that there are various areas that there are use cases for automation. Pharmacovigilance, clinical trials. Basically, we can say that where there are a lot of data, lot of huge amount of data, and at the same time business process involved. We can say that quality assurance, supply chain management, waste management, drug safety measures, barcode registration, product management, all these area, the automation, there are automation use cases, and at the same time we can say that the IBM automation platform can definitely add value. So coming to little bit more specific about the pharmacovigilance, as we all know that the process is well structured. It starts from a case intake and it ends in a regulatory submission of the safety reports if there is any adverse reaction happen for any particular drug which is already available in the market. It goes from case intake to the triage and coding and follow-up, medical assessment, risk, quality assurance, and then it goes for a submission. The demo, we concentrate more on the intake and the triage with the help of a dashboard. So with that, I will hand over to Deepak. He will take you through the two demos that we talked in the beginning. So if we have any questions that we will address at the end. With this, I think I can stop sharing the screen.
Thank you, Dilip.
Thank you so much.
Hey, Akshay, are you able to hear me? Yeah.
Yeah, we can, Deepak.
Thank you, Akshay, for confirming. Okay. Hey, thank you, Dilip, for taking us through the wonderful journey of Cloud Pak for automation in the IBM space. And just for everybody, just to add to what Dilip was mentioning, Cloud Pak for automation is one of the Cloud Paks that is available under the IBM portfolio of the software applications that we provide. And Cloud Pak for automation is just one of the 6 Cloud Paks that we have today. So along with Cloud Pak for automation, we have Cloud Pak for data, we have Cloud Pak for multi-cloud management, applications, and so on, and security, and so on and so forth. So Cloud Pak for automation, as the name suggests, is primarily focused around automation, obviously. And then you have other Cloud Paks which are focused around data, security, cloud management, and all. When we say Cloud Pak for automation, that necessarily does not mean cloud only. You can deploy it on cloud if you want, but if your organization is not ready to go on to cloud as of yet, now you can still go on to deploy your Cloud Pak for Automation that Cloud Pak for Automation or Cloud Pak for data or multi-cloud management, those kind of Cloud Paks, you can still deploy it on premises as well. So just to make things a little bit clear, Cloud Pak does not necessarily mean cloud only. So it can be cloud, it can be totally on premises, it can be combination of both as well. Okay, so that set aside. Now in today's world, when we if we talk about pharmacovigilance now, in today's world, in the pharma industry specifically, the brand reputation is really difficult to build, but it is easy to lose in the world of social media. One day some report goes, somebody posts something on Twitter or on Facebook, and it goes viral and the brand is lost. So gone are the days when we can query the national surveillance systems and look at what all is happening. If there are any adverse reactions that are happening for a particular drug. Now is an era where we have to monitor a whole lot of things and not just one single system. So there is no one single source of truth now for input data. So that's the reality today. And second thing is, no amount of clinical trial that we have that any pharma industry product goes through can guarantee that it is 100% safe for usage for any genomics, and it is totally, all its side effects are also identified. So we have to always be prepared to react quickly to if there are any deviations that are not envisioned during the product launch. So that is where the first thing now, for any solution, any problem that we face, for any solutions to arise, the first step is to identify that there is a problem. So unless somebody puts down the foot and says, yeah, this is a problem, then there is no solution is not coming out. So in today's world, what we see is the problem statement in pharmacovigilance specifically is around how do we gather all this data? How do we pass through all the tons and tons of data that are generated every day, and then take actionable insights out of it? Now, if we go down doing it manually, that's not practically feasible. So that is exactly where we need an automation as a solution. Okay, so we'll try to go through the demo now. So this is where we are trying to address some of these pain points that we have. And as part of our post-vigilance solution, we have these 8 major steps. Okay, these 8 steps are all designed and implemented using Cloud Pak for Automation, along with some inputs from Cloud Pak for data and Watson services. So as you can see, the very first step is the case intake, and the case intake has to be omni-channel today. So that's the reality of it. It has to be omni-channel. Then it goes through your case review, your duplicate checks, your prioritization. So now, if you case review, duplicate check, and prioritization, now if we try to do it manually, then now that so much of a data is being generated in the systems, it is really difficult to keep up. So that is where the knowledge worker dilemma comes in, that whether I do something that is more fruitful, which utilizes my experience, my knowledge, or do I do some mundane task like deduplication checks and all. Okay, so the next part, which is medical assessment, is where actually a knowledge worker comes into picture. But what we see time and time again is lot of work, lot of time being devoted to case review, deduplication, and prioritization, which is something that can easily be automated. But unfortunately, for so and so reason, it has not been automated yet in lot of industries, not just pharma, but in lot of industries as well. So after that, we have your follow-ups, automated coding, translation, the risk benefit analysis, the quality check, and case reporting. We are not in this demo, we are not trying to solve every aspect of it, What in this demo, we are just showing the art of the possible, and we're trying to cover some aspects of all these steps that are involved in any pharmacovigilance. Okay, and on top of it, here we are actually basing our demo on personas. So you have your patient or healthcare representative who is actually giving out the information, either through emails or through filling out a form or through social media interactions, be it a call center, be it a chatbot, whatnot. There are n number of media, but we have to collect the data. So now, after we collect the data, that's where the first step of automation kicks in. What used to be a manual extraction of data and generation of the case and sending out the acknowledgement, that is something that can easily be automated today. And we'll see how that is being automated in a sample use case of ours. Then comes our case triage, your digital review, which is the knowledge worker. Then you have the case advisors and the supervisors. So it is spread across all these roles at this point of time. This demo is spread across all these roles and personas. So let's go ahead and look at the piece of this demo, where when the customer sends out a report, fills out a form regarding an adverse reaction. It can be an FDA form, it can be a Indian government form as well. But today what we see is there are so many different types of forms that are available spread across different geographic markets as well. So templatizing them is a difficult task. Now, unless you are able to extract the data out of it in a timely and accurate manner, that becomes that much, the rest of the steps become that much difficult. So that is where our first offering kicks in, and that is the business automation content analyzer. On this, so now we're seeing that, okay, these are the forms that we have. This is an example of an US FDA form. Now we see this is an example of, let's say, an Indian government's ICMR form in this case, but more or less everything is, the data elements are similar. So the screen that you see is part of the IBM automation portfolio called Business Automation Content Analyzer. This is a templateless. That is, you don't have to say how do you want to extract it, extract the data out of it. You only say what you want to extract. For example, if you look at the keys, so these are the keys that we are saying that, hey, I want to extract these elements out of my documents using artificial intelligence and machine learning. You as a system go figure out how do you want to extract. We will initially train the systems using as many documents that we would have, and then let the system learn over a period of time as well. Learn over a period of time, improve itself on its own over a period of time as well. Now that that extraction can also be augmented using Watson services, using AI systems which are external to whatever AI that we have as part of a business automation content analyzer. And it can leverage Watson services in the background as well. As you can see out here, we are using our natural language processing, which is part of our Watson services, to extract some items, which is basically, which are actually the symptoms that the patient is observing, the name of the drug and those kind of things from the description, and collecting the data out of those the documents that we're receiving. Okay, so now for the demonstration, obviously during the actual processing, all of these goes in the background. But just for the demonstration purpose, what we are seeing is we are feeding in a document, a PDF document of the adverse reaction form into the system. And on the right hand side, you can see all the extracted entities that are there. And using the right hand side itself, a knowledge worker, or if something is not extracted properly, somebody can come in and train the system then and there itself during the actual deployment, after the deployment has happened as well. So it is a continuously learning system. It all learns on its own. It learns from its mistakes. It learns from the feedback that it gets from the actual people, and it gets better and better over time. Okay, so you can see that the data is how the data is extracted and presented to you. Obviously, this happens in the actual system. This happens in the background, and you need to only open up the screens only when you want to retrain or train the systems even a bit more. Okay, and so this is what the first system was, the data extraction out of these documents which were traditionally siloed, and somebody had to go and look into it and get the data out of it. Now you can do it in an automated manner. Now, till now, whatever you have seen is totally a business oriented. Somebody without any technical background can also do it as well. So it's just a matter of coming into the system, uploading a document in there, see what the what extraction it is giving out, and then drawing out some boxes. If the extractions are not correct, you can draw out some boxes saying that actually the extraction should have happened from this area. Okay, so and the system automatically learns from it. Now comes to the power users. When we say power users, I mean the developers, the integration specialists and all. So this product also caters to those power users by giving them the raw data. As you can see on the right hand side, we are looking at some JSON, some data which is in a very raw format, and you can take it out where you have much more than what you generally get from as a business user. Whatever you are only interested in some business data, but as a power user, you might try to dive deeper into other aspects of the data, other avenues as well. So not just the business data, you're also getting the data that would be required for you as a power user. Okay, so the same product caters to both the business users and the power users without being too cumbersome, without requiring much coding. It is a low code, no code. In fact, it is a no code interface. The business automation controller does not require even a single line of coding. It doesn't even provide you anywhere to put any code out there. So it's all driven by configuration. It is all driven by your user interface driven things. And you're looking at one of those power user interfaces where after you download the JSON format from the business automation containerization, you can actually go and look at the key value pairs that were extracted along with other metadata as well, which are beyond your not traditional key value extractions. Okay, now you have the data collected. So the next step is in the process is your deduplication, triaging and all. So that is where our system, that is where our ODM, our IBM ODM automation, it is part of our automation portfolio. It is called Operational Decision Manager. So this is a user interface. This is a interface for as part of the ODM solution called Decision Composer. And this is where a business user themselves can come in and create these rules. So the rules are nothing but similar to your almost English language, and you can also change the vocabulary. You can write your rules in English. You can write your rules in other languages as well. It supports French. It supports German. It supports Japanese, Chinese as well. So you can write your rules, and this is more or less like you and me talking and saying that, hey, if this, then do that, those kind of things. Plus, it gives you the capability to define your decision tables and along with your if-else kind of a clauses. Okay, so the prime focus being it should be business friendly, and it is business friendly. As you can see, if I want to create something, yeah, now obviously you can't expect your business users to come and write Python, C++ code out here, right? So this is what you give them an interface which is really easy to use, and so that they themselves can come in and maintain these rules by themselves without any requiring any traditional IT help. For example, you can here we can see that this is how the case priority is being calculated in this using the ODM as a system. Okay, so for example, if you're launching some drug in the market and you want to sort of maintain a kind of a list, which is a list that says, hey, these drugs should not be prescribed to infants. Okay, so you can maintain this kind of a list which says not just infants, it can be infants. If you can say these are the age groups that I want these drugs, we should not prescribe these drugs to these age groups because of so and so reason. So you can see it is so easy. You don't need a actual IT person to come in and help you out with maintaining this. You can actually maintain it using Excel sheets as well and just import it here. It works fine as well. So you can leverage your traditional knowledge of working with Excel sheets and combine that with your in the ODM platform to drive the actual decisioning capabilities. On top of it, in the same interface itself, you can write your test cases to see if whatever you have coded, whatever rules that you have defined are working properly or not. These test cases can come from an actual developer, or you can also write it on your own using your JSON format, or you can switch over to an edit form to say that, hey, it will give you an actual form where you can fill it out and get it done. So then we will look at the after your decisioning has been done, a decision has been taken, that is not a decision but rather a priority has been assigned. Now all of the data along with the priority, all the data that was collected from the form and the data that was inferred has to be presented to the case officer. So we need some interface which makes it easy for you to create and present it to the actual knowledge officer, the knowledge worker. So this is where our orchestration engine called business automation workflow, that is what is orchestrating everything in the background, also provides you a interface, a really beautiful interface where you can drag and drop and build these kind of fancy user interfaces, which are not just looking good, but also really good to use as well. It provides the capability to embed documents. It provides data in a format that is easily understandable, and it is merely drag and drop user interface where you can create a beautiful user interface in a matter of minutes. Okay, so as you can see, all the data that were extracted and inferred using your decision logic are presented in a really easy to work, beautiful way to the case officer out here. And then based on the data, what you see, based on the recommendations that we get from your ODM rule service engine, the case officer can go and make the appropriate calls, whether they want to contact the legal team in this case, or they want to contact the patient, or they want to contact the physician. Okay, so you can do all those automation, orchestrate that using the business automation workflow as the engine in the background. Now, finally, after we get all this data, we are doing so many things with it. The first, and then we obviously need a system where we are able to track what is going on track what is going on, not just in our system, but what we are receiving, what we are giving as an output, what all industries that are being impacted, who all are being impacted, and in what way are they being impacted. For example, here you can see that is where our product called Business Automation Insights, which is the reporting platform part of the Cloud Pak for Automation, gives you a really easy to use, easy to build, and moreover a scalable, beautiful solution where you can create your own dashboards and look at the data, slice and dice your data in whatever way that you want. So the data is automatically collected. So the important factor here is the data is automatically collected from all the systems that are part of a Cloud Pak for Automation, be it your workflow, be it ODM, be it BACA, tasks and all. So now that the data is collected and available to you, now you can easily create your dashboards and get insights out of your data. As you can see over here, we are able to see a pie chart where there is a case outcome, there's a metric for the number of cases that have been reported, the top 10 companies for whom the cases are being reported. For example, this is the pie chart for you have a serious reaction or not, and based on that, what are all the drugs belonging to each one of these categories. So it's a pie chart inside a pie chart. So now you have your age group, categorization on age group as well. So for the demo sake, we have just presented 5 visualizations. You can make it 50, you can make it 500 as well. There is no, since the data is all available to you, that is where one of the biggest problem is being solved, that the data being available in a format which is easily presentable. So now that tough problem is now already solved for you by virtue of being on the platform, which is called CloudPack for Automation. So once you have the tough problem, almost the elephant is out of the room. You just have to deal with the tail of creating these dashboards and having a look at it and drawing your insights out of it. For example, if you just want to have a look at your hospitalization data, so you have 13 reported cases for hospitalizations only, and out of which there are some serious, there was a majority of them were not serious and all. And then you see the same, the drill down in case of the hospitalization. So if you want to drill a little bit further down, saying that, hey, show me the hospitalizations belonging to this specific company. So now the chart automatically changes, only 4 cases for that particular company. And in this case, it was paracetamol, maybe this bad batch that was there or something. So because now you can go and further investigate based on different parameters that you have. So this is where the power of automation and an integrated automation, moreover, an integrated automation comes into picture. Being pre-integrated, that is your automation workflow, your ODM, your your capture solutions, your decisioning solutions, and your task solutions being pre-integrated in one single platform. Now the data collection is happening automatically in the background. So the hard problem is solved for you. You just have to go and get the insights out of the data that you already have collected and be up and running with the reports and visualizations in a matter of minutes. So that was the first demo, which was very pharmacovigilance data collection specific. Even within the pharmacovigilance, we are looking at only the data collection and the triaging piece of it. What I will do is now switch over to another demo, which is around invoice processing. Obviously, this is nothing specific to to the pharma industry, but pharma industry also does invoice processing. Now, let's say you are buying some base for your drug production. You are buying hundreds and thousands of base solutions from various different companies. You get your bill of materials at the end of the month or at the end of your transaction. Now, how do you process it today? You might have a whole suite of accounting team, or you would have outsourced that to a third party. Now, whatever the case is, if that is being done today manually, that is where you are. We are seeing a lot of wastage, time wastage, resource wastage, and in a situation like what we are today, when people are not able to go to the office and all, so the invoices are stuck. You are not getting your payments on time. The payments are not getting processed on time. So this is where the second demo is looking at how to address that invoice processing scenario where you are dealing with a whole lot of different types of invoices coming from different vendors where there is no standardization as such. So to address that, what we have taken is 4 invoices, IBM invoices, we are taking over here. So, and we have actually passed it through our second capture solution, which is called DataCap. We looked at business automation content analyzer in the first demo, and here we are looking at DataCap which is again part of our Cloud Pak for Automation, and seeing the power of data cap plus the industry accelerator that we have on top of our data cap as a solution, providing the capability to extract data from invoices really easily. You can do it using business automation content analyzer, but for the sake of to keep a little bit divergent viewpoints for our invoice processing versus our case reporting, in here we just chose the data cap as a use case out here. So in this scenario, let's say the invoices are coming via email. So you can have a data cap system that is monitoring your email systems and extracting the data out of it. So here we are looking at utilizing a digital twin for somebody who might be a clerk, okay, whose whole and sole responsibility is just clicking on some emails, downloading the documents, putting it into a system, or manually extracting the data out of those invoices and feeding it to a third system. So think of that person, his day in, day out job is clicking on some emails, downloading the documents, opening the document in, let's say, an Adobe Reader, looking at the data out there and typing it in the third system. So this is what we are trying to automate using our making a digital twin of that clerk. And so the digital twin will do exactly the same thing. It will read the email and download the documents and send it for processing to the data cap system in this case. Okay, so as you can see here, we have sent those 4 invoices for processing. Obviously, the processing may take a while, 15, 20 seconds or a minute or so. So instead of waiting around, we say, okay, we'll let it finish, and then once it is done, we will hand it over to the next worker. So
you're
Deepak,
still showing the end of the previous demo.
okay, let me. Are you able to see it now?
Yes.
yes.
Okay. So now I'll just quickly play this video till this point, till that point, and just let you absorb whatever we had discussed. So we are seeing those invoices out here, IBM invoices itself. And so there are 4 of them for this particular use case. So all of these invoices were derived from IBM Philippines. The one thing to notice around here is these invoices does not necessarily have a fixed structure. Even though the data more or less is same, that is the product, the quantity, the price, and the total value, but the structure is not same. So in this use case, what we are using is we are using our data cap accelerator on top, data cap accelerator to extract the data out of those invoices. So the invoices can arrive in many different ways. It can arrive as plain old documents, physical documents, which you are using a scanner to scan. It can come in through fax, it can come in through emails, it can come in through other digital channels as well. So as a system, it can interface with all these channels. In this case, we are utilizing email channel. So to replicate our physical worker who is downloading those documents from an email and sending it over for processing, to replicate that, we have built a digital twin for that particular worker called digital invoice clerk, who is actually doing the same thing but using your automation in the background. So using automation in the background, it is actually downloading those emails, reading those emails, downloading the documents from the emails, and then sending those documents for processing, okay, for extraction. So here we are actually sending it out for those extraction steps. And what we get in return is some IDs that, hey, we have received your document, signifying that, yes, we have received your document for processing. That processing might take a minute or two. So that's where we are, instead of the worker being waiting, so the worker can continue to pump in all these documents for processing. And as and when the documents are processed, we can move over to the next step in the process, where we are, instead of dealing with the raw documents, we're actually dealing with data. So when we are dealing with data, we are looking at the second persona in this case, which is called the digital advisor, invoice advisor. So the invoice advisor's main responsibility is to collate the data from whatever was extracted out of those invoices and make a decision around whether the invoices are PO, non-PO, whether they're good to be dispersed or should they be rejected, or if there are any anomalies which need to be investigated further. So that is where we are IBM research lab asset called Adapt. So as part of our partnership with Project Infotech as well. So those assets are also available to our clients as well as a service offering. So in this scenario, what we are doing is, after we are getting the raw data out of it, we are doing all those vendor identification, PO line item matching, your GL code predictions and all, using the Adapt as a system. So as you can see out here on the right hand side, here we see that after we sent out the data to the Adapt system, it has basically categorized those invoices into PO, non-PO, and then marked as a label for each of those invoices, whether it is waiting for somebody to manually look at it, or it has already, it went through a straight through processing. The straight through processing can be either be passed or it can be failed, for failed instance, rejected for any reason whatsoever. But we'll go to the Adapt system and have a look at all those things as well. So the pass, the rejection, and the waiting state. So going to the Adapt system, which is the AI-driven account payable and transformation, the acronym for it. We will see that those 4 invoices are there. So we have total of 4 invoices that are there, out of which 1 is passed, 2 are waiting, and 1 has been rejected. So we'll go into the invoices that are, we'll just have a look at what the reason behind why it was passed, why it was waiting, and why it was rejected. For example, if you see the columns that are there, for the one that has been rejected, the vendor identification did not go through. So the vendor identification failed. So that was the reason why it was rejected. So right when you are logging into the system, that is exactly when you are presented with most of the things that are required for you to do your work. For example, the one that was waiting, it is waiting on the PO line item matching. Both of the cases are actually waiting on PO line item. But for the one that has passed, everything was good. So it went all the way through for the straight through processing. Okay. So now in here, for the invoices, you are actually looking at the data that was extracted using our data cap and the adapter behind the data cap solution. Okay. So you see the header information, the client information, the supplier, and the actual invoice line items. Okay. So, and based on that, you will obviously make a decision at a later point of time, whether this invoice is good or this is not good. Okay. Or if you want to change any line items, for example, if the extraction did not go through properly, or there was some extraction which is wrong, you can go in and correct it at this point stage as well. So if we go to our the next step, which is see what all invoices are waiting for feedback from manual feedback. So you see there are 2 line items out here. We can go into those specific invoices. We see whether we want to if there is a quantity mismatch, price mismatch, or none of the above, and if everything is good or not. So we are looking at the data, and for the second one as well. So we go into the system and we see what all data, and we have the document on the right hand side for the manual matching, for the eye to eye matching kind of scenario. Okay, so once we come over here, so this is where we can go and make a decision for each of those invoices that are waiting for us. We say for this one, we say, hey, this is good to go. So let's pass it on to the next step. The same for the next one as well. We say that hey, we'll go into the no, this is not good kind of scenario, and say hey, we'll close it and we'll submit it. Okay, so we passed one and we rejected another. Okay, so this is how this is the power of by driving using the power of automation. What we are seeing is lot of things that were done manually, starting from getting the documents downloaded from the email all the way to data extraction using DataCap or Baka, and everything in between, like orchestrating that using your digital twin and looking at the end result using adapt system. So now you see that because of the automation, there are a lot of points where we are reducing the manual effort at lot of various points, and wherever the manual intervention or effort is required, we're trying to make life that much easier for that person. For example, in this scenario, the person who is actually approving or rejecting the invoice, which are only waiting. So there was a first reduction, that 50% reduction in the invoice processing that was even required, because 2 of those 4 invoices straight through went for either approval or rejection. Now for the rest of the 50% work that was required, we have already extracted the data out of the documents. So you can think of it like if on an earlier system, even if it was digitized and all, in the earlier system, if it would take like 1 hour to approve those 4 invoices, because you have to extract the data and do all of it. Now it was taking around in the 5 minutes in the time zone of around 5 to 10 minutes only to do it. So you straightforward see a reduction in the magnitude of around 70 to 80%. So the volume of reduction that you will see in your specific process will obviously differ based on how digitized your processes are, how much of an automation can be inculcated into a system, and in the first run, obviously it will improve over a time, how much of automation that you are bringing into the system. The mileage may vary from system to system, from company to company, from implementation to implementation, but the ground reality is, with automation, things obviously become smarter, become smoother, become faster. So that was what the crux of the matter is. Automation drives a much more smoother process, faster, more error-free as a process. So using Project, Infotech, and other partners. So, and IBM being the solution provider, being the platform provider, and you leveraging IBM's expertise, the 100 years of legacy and the expertise that we have. I'm pretty sure that anybody who is trying their hands on the automation, or they have tried their hands on automation midway, they are midway in their automation journey as well. So the partnership with IBM, with Project Infotech, and you as a client can help everybody out here. So that was it from my side, Akshay. Handing it over to you for any Q&A.
Yeah, thank you so much, Dilip and Deepak. So I think we can have a quick question and answer round. We have already passed the time. Anyone having any question, please put it into chat message. So we have one question, Deepak, here about the environment setup. So you said about cloud and on-prem. So can you please elaborate on the license, how it is available in the market?
Yeah, sure. So when we get cloud, I'll speak specifically of Cloud Pak for Automation here. So when you buy Cloud Pak for Automation license, so the license itself entitles you to deploy it either on-prem or on cloud. So there is no restriction. The same license, we don't put any restrictions around the where you want to deploy it. So it is totally up to you to where you want to deploy it. And if you are deploying it on cloud, it can also be IBM cloud. It can be other cloud vendors as well. In fact, if so, there is no restrictions on that as well. Till the point it is the CNCS certified, the cloud vendors, which a majority of them are. And you can also deploy it on-prem as well. So, or you can put it hybrid in as well. And the other good part is, so let's say today you are not ready with your to go on the cloud journey. You can start off with deploying it on-prem in a traditional kind of an environment. And let's say 6 months down the lane or a year down the lane, when you are actually ready to go on to cloud, that the same license, you can utilize the same license to take the product, the applications that you have developed and deploy it on cloud. So that's the beauty of Cloud Pak for Automation and Cloud Pak in general from IBM.
Okay.
So no restrictions.
Thank you. Anyone have any other questions? So I think we received only one question so far. Anyone is having any question? Please raise your question in chat box. Okay, so no questions from this side. One question I think I would like to raise, Deepak, from my side. The extraction which is provided into the content analyzer, right? Does it also support the handwritten recognition? So does it have a facility to extract the handwritten text as well?
So
let me answer that. So for handwritten extraction today, content analyzer does not have a mechanism. It's mainly for machine print, but down the lane, another quarter or two, we are adding handprint also as part of content analyzer. For all the use cases which has handwritten data, it would be a combination, either standalone data cap or could be a combination of data cap and Baka if you still want to do templateless. Now, since the licensing itself is not based on components, but it's more on workload. So you can say that, okay, if you want to process 100,000 documents, half of which has, handwritten data and half of which does not have handwritten data. So you could just license or price that whole workload for the capture within Cloud Pak for Automation. So you don't have to say, oh, this one or that one, or you don't have to pick and choose. So, yeah.
Okay, thank you. Anyone having any other question, please raise your questions. Or else we'll close the session now. Yeah. I guess no more questions here, Deepak.
Yeah, thank you, Akshay. And if there are any queries that come in offline, please feel free to pass it on to the IBM team, and we'll make sure that those get answered.
Yeah, thank you, Dilip, thank you, Deepak, and thank you, IBM team. Thank you all the participants who have joined this webinar.
Thank you, Akshay.
Thank you. We'll
Thanks.
close the session. Thank you, guys.